Hey everyone, I think that we may be live tonight where we're supposed to be on YouTube. Okay, I'm just trying to pull up my feed. All right, I see us. We are live. So, all right, everyone, welcome in. It's Watercolor Wednesday, except we're on a Thursday tonight. I'm sharing some quick and easy watercolor ideas here on our YouTube channel to hopefully inspire you, get you painting. They take usually under 15 minutes, 15 minutes or less, because creating art should feel fun and not fussy. Okay, so let's get right on into it. If you do come on, please say hello. Alexis is watching the comments, and I am. Hey, Cindy, thanks for finding us tonight. There's apparently was an outage last night on the tube. I was trying so hard to get on and could not. So, we're following our theme. We've been following a theme of the alphabet, and we're up to the letter H.
Hi, Cindy.
Hey, she said hi, Cindy. So I'm just going to show you, like, this is one of our cards we did, just winging it with the bat. I've done some pumpkins, and I've been working small this month. Working small fits right along with the working fun and not having to worry about being really, really fussy. A lot of people tell me that they're afraid to try watercolor because they feel like there's a stigma that you have to be really fancy, and that's just certainly really not the truth. So what I wanted to do tonight was show you that ways that, and granted, these are already cut down into like 3.5 by 2.5 sizes, little squares, but you could take an entire sheet of watercolor paper and just, you know, make 3 that way, and what, probably you could get 4 going the other way, and just make a bunch of tags. And I just thought, because the Halloween season is right around the corner, I would show you how we could make some easy little witch hats. So that's what we're going to do tonight, and we're going to make them so that they could be just little, I'm looking as if they were little gift tags. You could put on a little candy bag. I have special little ones that get like a little special candy bag from me that would be, not exactly what just any kid in the neighborhood would want. But in order to sketch out my hat, and really honestly, this is so simple, and we don't want it to be perfect. So if you're afraid of that, throw it right out the window. So I'm drawing a very light, almost triangle shape, and then I'm going to draw a circular bottom, which makes that more of like a cone. And then I'm going to just do another piece of that cone. And then I'm just going to sketch a really floppy little brim. And don't worry if you can't draw. Don't feel like you need to. Yours doesn't have to look like mine. No two are going to ever look the same anyway. But you can find tracers and digital patterns so that you can paint along with me inside of the Brush and Script Society, and I'll put information about that below. So I'm just going in and making some jagged lines on the side of my witch hat, and I want it to kind of lean over to the side. So see how I'm building off of that original cone shape. Right, and now I'm just going to pull a lot of my pencil lines back off. And we're gonna letter just a little bit underneath, small, so I'm just leaving some space for that. So I'm grabbing my brush. This is a great way to use up extra paint sitting around. If you have black paint, feel free to use it, but I always like to mix my black with another color. It just gives it more depth and more vibrancy. So what I'm going to do is just with plain water, might have a little bit on my brush, and that'll be fine. a little bit of paint on my brush, and that will be fine. I'm just gonna fill this in, and you can see that I'm going quick. I'm going off to the side there, and I want it to be bumpy, like there are folds in the hat. I'm gonna go around the brim. Well, this is paper that's new to me, and I am noticing, if I look really close, and I'm not sure if you can see it or not, this is new paper for me, and I see where my paint is sort of bubbling on the paper instead of really soaking in. So I'm going to give that a minute and hope that it's going to soak in. Like I said, this is fun art, not fine art, but you technically don't want your water just to puddle up on your paper like that. You see that? Right there. There could be just a bad batch of paper that I have, or a bad sheet. But anyway, we're going to keep going. So I'm going to come and grab just a little bit of my, I have some blue and some dark, what do you call it, gray, in my brain. Yep, that one. And I'm just going to come in and around. I love to just come in around my edges and drop that color in. We're still close enough. And if you look in there, you start to see the way that color bleeds in to the inside of the hat. That is going to give me that really nice watercolor look that I love, where the things kind of bleed. So I'm going to pull a line maybe from some of those jagged edges that I put in there, because I want that to look like creases or folds in the fabric. And I'm going to go, this is going to be like a little ribbon for me. And like I said, we are not making fine art tonight. We're just having fun. So I'm just going to tap that also around the edges. And remember, wherever our paper is wet, think of your paper as a little pond or a little puddle, right? We just want to see the sheen on the paper, not huge puddles. But think of it as a pond. Wherever that pond is on your paper, when you touch it with the watercolor, the pigment will flow across wherever it's wet. So we just got a little quick hat there, and I'm going to just leave that be, and I'm going to let it dry. A little too much water, but you see where I didn't go over the whole thing. I could, maybe I'll come in with some of that really dark. The color is just completely, I'm having a menopause moment, Cindy. God, this is awful. But it's just a really, really dark grayish blue here. And I can just keep putting, as long as it's wet, when I put it on the paper, remember it's going to spread with my pond. So I can just tap in. I can always add more, but it's harder to remove. So I'm just going to let that sit and dry. We're going to do another one. I'll just set it off to the side. We'll do another one really, really quickly. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more tutorials. And again, if you would like printable tracers, digital patterns so that you can paint along, you'll find them inside the Brush and Script Society. And that we just brush letter, and it's kind of getting revamped. I'll give you that. We've been doing a lot of brush lettering, but we're going to be painting, lettering, and creating. It's all about painting, lettering, and creation with no pressure. Okay, so that's what the Brush and Script Society is about. Sorry, I'm trying to get me back over so I can see the YouTube page. There we go. Alrighty. So again, I can just come in here very quickly with my mixed blue and gray on this brush. And I don't even have to draw out my hat. I can start with a semicircle for the brim, you know, like a U. And see how it's got some water in there, so the color is just going to move. And then I can just draw a similar hat like we just did, just with the brush. Let the paint go ahead and do the work for you, right? If you want to add some of those little bumps, just tap that color. Now watercolor will dry lighter than it looks when it's wet. I'm trying to keep this under 15 minutes, and I will probably fail. I will probably fail horribly because I talk too much. So these are just quick, easy little tutorials. I'm going to dry this just really quickly. Sending the other cards flying. Okay, so that should be good. And then I want to put a little ribbon, just a simple, not a real ribbon, but the look of a ribbon around my witch's hat. So I'm going to grab the palette that is closest to me here, and I'm going to do one pink. So let's do one. Just going to wet that pink really quickly, pick some of that up on my brush, and we'll just add some pink in there, nice and bright. Just tap that in there. Did you see that? And then on this one, let's see. I'm gonna grab some blue and red. Let's make a pretty little purple. If we can. Gonna lighten it up. And there's a nice little witchy purple. So I'm just gonna use that belly of the brush, pull that through and let it move around. I can leave some of the white of the paper, that's fine. I can come back. I usually wouldn't. I'm gonna leave it. Honestly, you know what? I'm gonna just leave it. I can come make that, I could make that hat brim a little bit wider, or I can just leave it. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna tap some more pink here on this hat. And there's my little ribbon, right? So like I said, you can always keep coming back and adding more dark to the hat. But see how quick you can just tap this in there. And then, you know what? We will. Well, why not? We'll just go in. We can make this bigger. And I'm using a lot of pigment. Not a whole lot of water here to get that really dark. Just almost dry brushing. Right? So we have two little gift tags, kind of cute. And I wanted to just show you really quickly. We could just letter on them. I'm going to do this one real quick. So I'm going to do it with my pencil. I always like to use my pencil first. I'm just going to be careful that I don't put my hand in the wet of my picture so I don't ruin it. But I'm going to use my pencil to kind of sketch out where I want my letters. So I'm going to write if the hat fits. If the, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't like, right? If it was dry, I could really go in and erase, but I can go back when I'm done. It's not really centered. This is why I use pencil, guys. This is why I always say, once before you go on to the watercolor, just use your pencil. So let's do it this way. We'll do it a little smaller. If the, and I'm gonna do hat, like that, if the hat fits. So we're gonna mix it a little bit back and forth with print and lettering. And if I can find my feud, this is too small for me to try to watercolor on with the lettering, but I'm fine with using the brush. So now I can go back in, or with my marker. I'm gonna go back in now with my marker. And I am just gonna go over those pencil lines. And if it's not perfect, I can always go back in and erase it once everything dries. I can thicken some of my down lines even with print. Right, so remember with lettering, I'll just do the fits part over here. If the hat fits. We know what that says, right? If the hat fits, we know how to finish that. But now with lettering, remember, this is the feud marker. Any kind of brush pen, if I am, I don't know what that was. If I am doing a downward motion with this brush pen, I'm going to not put a lot of pressure on the marker. Or no, down is we're putting pressure, and going up, we're not putting pressure, right? So again, downward motion, we're pushing on that marker tip. If we're doing anything going upward, we're just not going to put pressure on the tip, so you get a thin line, right? So when you put that together, when you're lettering, I'm going to go up first. So no pressure on my marker, up, up. And as I go around and I come down, I'm going to press on that marker to give me a thick downstroke. Okay, I'm going to go back up again with this motion. So I'm going up a hill, and as I come down, I'm going to press down on that marker like I'm pressing on the brakes. So it's no pressure, heavy pressure, back to no pressure. Then I'll do my A, pressure, because I'm coming down. Where I go back up, there's no pressure on that marker. Down, we're going to press, lift to come back up. Okay, down, lift it to no pressure to come back up, and put that little fancy cross across our T. Okay, and this is not 100% dry, but I'm okay if this marker hits and bleeds. It is a water-based marker. If I were doing this something that was not black to begin with, I would never attempt to do this with the paint on the paper dry, because it's going to bleed if it hits anything wet. If any of our paper is wet and this marker hits it, it's going to run. Right, but I can come through and just add some of those dark lines, maybe just add a few dots around there. Right, so there's a good one if the hat fits. Let's see, what's another one we could do? I like Witch Please. What do you think about Witch Please? Can you tap the screen with a few hearts if you like the idea of Witch Please? Just let me know below. And if you are watching the replay, let me know in the comments section what cute little phrase you would want to put on your little gift tags. So let's do Witch Please. We'll just sketch it out. Let's put some little we'll take it up into that hat. right? Which, and we'll do the please. P-L-E-A. Because there's not a lot of room here, I just think it looks cute like that. Just let me know what you think. Okay, so remember, downward strokes are pressure so that it gives you a thick downstroke. Down, up and around, and then we're gonna go down again. So then we're gonna come up, down, back up and around. Thank you for the heart, Cindy. Okay. Down, up, down, up, and around. We're just gonna come up and into the hat with that H. We could do this with other colors. We could write this bigger with, I think I'm just gonna change the way that looks. P-L-E-A-E. I'm gonna give it a sec to dry. I can just come up here really shaky. I don't want to be right perfect with the witch hat. I like my little lines to just be kind of inside the lines, outside the lines. We don't need to follow the lines. We're here to have fun, right? So let's see, where's my lid? I don't know. We'll find that soon. Something's flying around. Pencil eraser. We'll erase this. I probably have like ruined my 15 minutes or less, haven't I, Cindy? But it's okay, right? If you watch on replay, we can always cut out a lot of the chitty chat. There we go. So we have which please. And this, the pink is still wet if the hat fits. I'm just gonna go across and erase all of my pencil lines. That's okay. A little mistake like that. You see where I did that? But I can fix that. I can even actually make it look like it's meant to be there by taking just a little bit of that pink with a good bit of water. Not a whole lot. I don't really want to hit my wording, but I can just drop a few taps of that pink onto the gift tag so that that looks like it was meant to be there, right? Those little splatters. And there it is. So I had everything out ready last night and that just kind of really threw me off. But I have my little hole punch, like I can come in here with a little hole punch. Kind of eyeball where the middle is. Maybe I need a new hole punch. This thing is dull. There we go. So we'll put a little hole there. Put a little hole in this one. And then we can just put like curly ribbon or some really pretty ribbon to match, like may say the rim of the witch hat. And then you could put on the other side like to and from sort of thing. But just a quick little idea that you could make some Halloween gift tags with the witch tag and just have some fun, right? And if the hat fits, ladies, let's wear it. I will. I'll put the hat on. I will definitely put that hat on. Alrighty, so I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for joining me tonight. Don't forget, you can get the printable tracers and the step-by-step templates inside of the Brush and Script Society. I'll put the information below. We are transitioning from only lettering in there to doing all the fun stuff. So until next time, let your creativity flow like confetti, and I will see you next time. Have a good night.